We are backstage right now. We'll be starting in just a moment. Welcome to AbilityMKE Now. My name is Sue Roskoff, and here at AbilityMKE Now, we are a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own, with people we know, or people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. Tonight is going to be a fun night. I'm thrilled to have the friends joining us that we have here. And, I got to start out, as always, bringing in the wonderful Denise Vargas. Miss Diva, come on in and join us and say hello.
Hello, Milwaukee from New York. Love being here. And boys, we have some amazing guests today. Can't wait to hear what they're going to chat about.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here. And she is the queen of living creatively. So many good things. I also want to go ahead and bring in right away Miss Debbie Miller. So glad to have you joining us again tonight. If you want to remind everybody who you are.
Sure. Thanks for having me. It's great to see you, Sue and Diva. I'm Deborah Miller with Prepaid Legal Services, Inc., which is a great way for families and small businesses all over North America to have access to law firms in their area for whatever need you have. We have an attorney for that. So it's great to be here and help with the ability in MKE.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Debbie. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in our special guest for this evening, Mr. Bill Walters. He is a wonderful gentleman we've known for actually quite some time now. I'm so glad to finally have a chance to bring you on in here to share more about what you all do with Milwaukee. So Bill, if you want to come on in and say a few words about what you all do, I would really appreciate that.
Thank you so much for the kind words and introductions. My association with Milwaukee is the Roscoff family, and skiing. So I'm happy to be here. What do? I help people create a better outlook on life with positive mindset and thinking when it comes to their finances. And so whether it's retirement or setting up and funding a special needs trust or just making a difference and giving them peace of mind, that's what I do.
Awesome. That's a perfect nutshell of all, because you do so much more. There's a lot of amazing things that we know you for. And you mentioned special needs trust. I am betting there's a lot of people who have no idea what that is, but I think it would be a key thing for people to understand what that means. Can you describe that a bit for us?
Sure. Thank you for the great question. So when you have a child or an adult child, and you want to make sure that they do receive either benefits or protection from the state, you set up a special needs trust by an attorney in the state that you live in. Now, one of the partners on the call can also assist with finding that trust, but ultimately the purpose of setting up a special needs trust is to provide protection in the living and creating a living game plan, or after demise or after the death of the parents, a rule or written instructions to make sure that the lifestyle of the neurodiverse or the IDD or the special needs individual remains the same, and they are provided with the caretaking and the love and the guidance to have a normal life, or as much as normal as possible after the demise.
Excellent. And so this is something that you're able to help people with, setting this up and explaining how this works. Because honestly, I'm betting there's a lot of people out there who could benefit from this type of I don't know if I want to call service product. It's kind of a combination of the two. I can imagine there's a lot of people who just aren't even familiar with that type of thing that existing and how it could benefit them. Do you run into that often?
You'd be surprised. I just came from an ASF Foundation conference, or Angelman syndrome, that was in Sandusky, Ohio, and 1,400 registered families. 200 families came to my physical location or exhibitor desk. 80% of them did not have or even know about an existence of a special needs trust, what its purpose was, and I describe it the same way. It's like owning a Ferrari and not putting gas in it, because you need a trust to protect the family and your assets, but it also enables you to do so many more things for the benefit of the child or the adult child. And so it's really important to get that established prior to the age of 18, so that the child or the adult child is not recognized as the primary decision maker for their own finances and health. And the biggest example I can give is that someone who turned 21 went onto a car lot, drove the car off the lot, signed all the papers, and then returned the car for a $6,000 difference. Now, shame on the dealership for signing and allowing them to take the car, but the family was reliable for a $6,000 difference just for a joyride, which I don't think is fair. So we do not want that to happen.
That's awful. Oh my gosh. Talk about taking advantage of somebody. That's bad.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, very, very bad.
wow. So I know, Debbie, with what you do, I know you have legal backing. You have legal folks that are at your fingertips basically for being able to help out with these types of things as well. Is this something that you've actually come across very often?
It's not something that I've come across, but I try to help people understand that it's available. So I mean, like a lot of things with legal issues, we're often very unaware, and so we need to get that changed and let everyone know that it's even available. So I appreciate Bill sharing this with us. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you for offering the services you do. Makes a difference.
Yeah, because that is I'd say a pitfall for all of us in so many areas of life, that we don't know what we don't know. And until somebody brings forward these new ideas and shares that, there's such a thing as a special needs trust or whatever the thing is that could really make a difference for a person, until somebody speaks up and shares the information, you never know who it might benefit, right?
Yeah, it's very, very important to get out into the public, because you don't know who's going to hear the message and when they hear it. But the most important thing is to get started today or now, because today is the best day. The more you delay, the more problems that could arise, the greater the chances are. So contacting someone like Debbie to get her insight on whom to get referred to for getting that special needs trust is vital. Someone like myself to teach you how to fund the trust and to get a behavioral game plan in place inside the trust, so you create a day in the life of the child or adult child. So all these things can be transferred and updated annually, so that anyone can step in and assume the guardianship role.
Oh, excellent. Denise, why don't you come on in and join the conversation?
Yeah, I love this conversation because I know that, and thank you, Bill, because one of the things that I hear often is, well, if I even get a special needs trust, even if I get a lawyer to, give me the most fantastic discount, or even do it for free, how do I fund it? I don't have any money. Where do I get that? Like I hear that in the disability community very often. So I think that what you're doing is phenomenal to help explain to people, yeah, there are ways that you can fund it. You don't need necessarily your own money if you don't have any. There are other ways that you can fund it. So you may want to share a tip on that.
Sure, I can share a couple of tips. So once a special needs trust is established, you could have bills uh, or what I call donations payable to the trust. And that money that's accumulated uh, into the trust accumulates in the trust name. So therefore, the usage, once you have rules for distribution, could go towards funding a day in the life activities like Uber trips or OT and PT, and arranging for a personal care assistant to go on the ride with the user of said services, or protection. So having a a solution that includes a life insurance benefit and tax-free accumulation created for after the death of the parent or guardian. All these things can be done under the protection of a trust. I mean, I can go in greater detail on one-on-one, but when it's over the airwaves, I have to be specific with generalities.
And that makes sense. Go
Of
ahead.
course, totally understandable. And those are great points to get people starting. Well, how can I use it? How can I fund this? So thank you for sharing that.
Well, I mean, you offer a unique service that is great for people. And I think it's important that people know what you do as well.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I help people live their lifestyle that they've always dreamt of, but it just either one, they don't know exactly what that is. And then once they know what they want, well, how do you get there? Right. And so as a person with a disability, myself, I had to get creative and make sure everything is legal, all my I's are dotted, all my T's are crossed, so that I don't ever fall into a situation where I didn't think it through and now I have to pay a penalty. And as a person with a disability, the one penalty that you definitely never want to lose, obviously, is your benefits. In my case, my benefits that I would never want to lose are my home care. The people who come in to help me, and I need to make sure that that is always, always available. So yeah, it's about knowing who to contact and who is on your team. We need to get team members, right? And I think that that's one of the things that's really important. Know who you need on your team, reach out to them, and have I like to call them the board of advisors.
That's a great way to look at it. I think if, really realistically, all of us could use that. We all have close friends that we rely on and bounce ideas off of. And, when it comes to even like this type of topic, I know finances can be kind of a touchy topic along the way, right? But really if you look at it like what you just said, like having your own board of directors, official or not, just to have that trusted group of brains that you can bring together and be able to bounce ideas off of and to learn from that. Oh, what a difference that makes for each of us, right? That's a huge thing. I love that.
It's also like a circle of trust, right? And that these people become more than just colleagues, they become friends. And many minds together come up with many unique thoughts and ideas and solutions. And creating that is what it's all about.
Denise,
Absolutely.
go ahead.
Absolutely. No, and within our networking, I have met so many phenomenal people. And that's exactly why I call them my board of advisors, because, when you know that you're thinking about something, you're kind of stuck in what decision you should, actually go for. I know exactly who to call. Now, sometimes you are so caught up in what you want, right, that you lose sight of something else that may potentially be an issue. So having that outsider, see it from their point of view. Of course, at the end of the day, it's still your decision, but at least you've heard different people's viewpoint and suggestion so that you can take all that into consideration.
That's perfect. Because I think with what we've all done, I think we've all met each other through actually networking, through like Happy Neighborhood Project. And it really does, to me, when I first thought about, okay, joining a networking group, why do I want to do that? Why would I ever take the time? And it's like, I'm kind of an introvert by nature, which you wouldn't know that necessarily with some of the things that we've all done together. But that is a thing that for me to be more of a natural, like I would like to kind of keep to myself. I like to, it's hard for me to share out a lot of times, like, oh wait, I should be growing my circle. I should be thinking beyond what I already know, because I know what I know, but there's a lot of things that I need to know in order to make good decisions, and to really have people on my team along the way, and consider them teammates. Because like with what we've done, what all of us have done with our networking, I think over the years, where we have gotten to know and trust some wonderful people that I would not have otherwise had the chance to get to know and to earn the trust. And I think that whole concept of reaching out and not being afraid to open your mouth and talk to people, especially for those that are very much introverted and like to keep to themselves and maybe are a little scared, I totally believe in getting that little nudge of it's okay to talk to people and to get to know each other and put yourself out there a little bit, because it ends up really being worth it in the end.
Oh, yeah. And isn't it interesting how many of us are in the same field, right? We may do something very similar, if not the same, but we all get different perspectives, from the way that they do something compared to the way that you do something. So it's never see someone in your same field as a competitor, see them as an ally.
So true. I know, because I with what Bill does and Debbie with what you do, there's overlapping pieces there, but I don't know that I look at the two of you as competitors. I look at that whole idea of the more that people understand, the more we can educate people on topics that are important to all of us, the better we all are in the long run.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's not like any of us are going to probably grab all of the market. So there's really plenty of people that need all of us. And as you said, overlapping, but also just the connections and the referrals to help the people that we do meet. But also, I guess for me, the networking has broadened our whole outlook. Um, I mean, even if you only network in your community, whether it's Milwaukee or Kansas City or New York, it can limit a lot of our thinking to what's out there and what's available for the world. So this is a great way to help all of us broaden our horizon and broaden our minds, that there's people like Bill out there ready to help and wanting to help teach us and get us aware of all the possibilities. So,
To add on to that, everybody likes pie, right? And if you look at a piece of pie and there is 8 slices, and there are 8 people in the room, but someone always wants a second slice of pie, and it's an 8-inch pie. So instead of thinking of the world or what we're trying to accomplish as an 8-inch pie, imagine it as a 24-inch pie. So the slices are bigger, right? And you're not going to be able to eat a full slice, because the only thing that's limiting you from accomplishing your goals is your own mental block. So if you change your mindset and think positive and put positive thoughts out, positive results come back, because that self-limitation and doubt is removed. So helping someone else, even if they're so-called competitors, maybe they will succeed with someone that you would not succeed with, and that person gets helped. And then the world's a better place because that person got the help they needed. And you can't be the answer to everything to everyone, but you can help someone, because it doesn't take much effort to be kind to someone.
I love that. So, and I think I think back on, okay, you just stirred a whole bunch of thoughts in my head. I love the whole idea of positivity and the ripple effect it has. That is a huge thing. I think truly that I know somebody who his whole concept is the ripples project, where all it takes is that little splash of it. Might have just been that somebody smiled your way and it brightened your day, and the ripple effect that has among people all around. I think that there's absolute truth in that, and I think that's huge. I appreciate you bringing that up, Bill.
Oh, I think ultimately you never can have too many friends, and that it's like Christmas morning when you're able to help someone and you come down the steps and it's the joy of giving. It comes out and you feel so good because you made a difference or an impact into someone else's life. And that simple, warm introduction that led to someone being helped and also someone earning a paycheck or a commission and enabled to put food on their table or enabled them to help complete their goals and their life's missions. That ripple effect goes on and on and on. So look, helping someone should bring you joy. And so that should be the first question when you meet someone new is what brings you joy? Because you look behind the green curtain and you get to see the real person and the motivation that makes that person smile. Because there's a reason why you're doing what you do. And once you unlock that reason, nothing's going to stop you from attaining your goals. Just having that positive mindset and knowing that you need to make that one extra call or do that one extra thing, even though you're tired, but you know what your goal is, will help you achieve that.
Absolutely. And I think I know, Diva, you're one that, with the whole concept of live creatively and the positivity that you bring to people all around you. I wonder what your thoughts are on that. Are you able to come on and share a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I'm all about living creatively. It's why I named my company that. But you know what? That positivity and always seeing the silver lining in anything. I've always tried to live by that because every bad situation, as bad as it may seem at the moment, once you get through it, you're going to realize that, oh, yeah, I needed to get through that to get here. But keeping that positive mindset, even through those rough challenges, it will help you get through it easier. Um, and like I always say, happiness is my DNA. So just be positive, be happy, live creatively, enjoy life, and seek the help of others. We all need others to lean on and to help us grow.
So, well, Bill, I'm going to throw it back to you here with a question. If, as you meet people and you are learning about where they're at in life, and something like a special needs trust or something along those lines would be helpful, what is like one of the number one things that you would want to talk with people about in order to convey, or what is something that stands out to you that's kind of a maybe even a theme with people that you meet? Like, these are things that they really should know. I've got some information that I really think that would be helpful to them. Is there anything that hits a pretty wide audience with those that you meet that would be appropriate for?
Sure. The first thing is it doesn't matter how much you save, it's where you save it.
Ooh.
Meaning that no matter what your income is or what your ability to save or your financial situation, it's the process of saving something and putting it in the right location that's to the biggest benefit. Now, if you take that a step further and you say, what is the importance of setting up a special needs trust? If you're on SSI or disability income from the government, you don't want to ever lose the most important thing, which is your health care that's provided for you. And if you're receiving that, it is the monies that come in are supposed to go towards your shelter. So any monies that are extra earned, whether it's working as a bagger in a grocery store or a dog walker or a baker, etc., should be made payable to the trusts so that you do not lose those lifelong benefits for health. And those two things combined are really, really important when it comes to saving for a trust and protecting the ability to receive health care provided for you.
That's huge. That's what I'm very glad that you're able to be here to share some of these details out, and it's giving people something to think about. It's giving me something to think about. It's like, oh yeah, it's a good point. So, and Debbie, I'm going to throw it your direction too with that whole concept of, when you're meeting people, what is something that you like to share that that comes from your background? What is it that ends up being kind of a key thing that you maybe see a theme among people that you're meeting, that they really are in the world of where something like Legal Shield would be a definite positive for them? Do you have anything, I guess, just nuggets that you'd like to share?
Well, I guess for me, one of the big things is that we all just assume we don't need an attorney. And, back in the, 1900s, that was maybe a thing. However, we're in a much trickier time now, and having an attorney that you can, as we mentioned, bounce ideas off of, get an official opinion, because, well, you and I both as mothers know that we have an opinion, and you hurt my child, I have an opinion, and you're not going to like it at all. However, it does not necessarily come even close to being what the legal ramifications would be for whatever that situation is. And so whether it's, everybody needs to have Legal Shield, in my opinion. You need to be able to contact an attorney to get legal advice for any situation. And especially when you have any kind of a challenge in your life, a physical challenge, a mental challenge, whatever that challenge might be, and not whether it's your personal life or even just your family, having somebody that actually knows the law can help. And when you can get it affordably for most people, that is just like a blessing in this, not even in disguise anymore. It's just plain a blessing right out there. So
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing, Debbie. And Diva, I just want to bring you back in here again if you had any final parting thoughts for us this evening.
I just am really happy that we got to hang out with these awesome people. Debbie, I know her for so many years. She's amazing. Bill, I can't wait to get to know you more, learn about all the service that you provide. And yeah, you know what? Again, thank you all for being with us. Love being on the show. Love being on Milwaukee's radio. Yeah, let's just keep helping and growing each other so that we are all living the life that we want.
Excellent. You guys are amazing. I absolutely love this crew and all that we are coming together and bringing the positivity, the information, all these things that we're able to do. And I am grateful for all the wonderful friends we've had here around us. My name again is Sue Roskoff with AbilityMKE Now, and we look forward to next time. And as always, we thank you.